Hello, whisperers. Welcome to the channel. If you enjoy tonight's tale, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. It helps more than you know. Now, dim the lights, and let's begin tonight's story. I don't even know why I'm writing this. Nobody's gonna believe me anyway. But I was the one stuck at the station that night, and I need to get this out. Everyone else got called to the riot. The whole damn city was burning, and they left me with the boring shit. Guard the holding cells, answer the phones, take notes for the log. Hold the fort, they said, like the station was a castle worth defending. The thing about being alone in a place that's supposed to be crowded is you start to hear things. The air vents breathing, the fluorescent lights buzzing, my own chair squeaking when I shifted too much. Every little sound felt too loud, and then the phone started ringing. At first I thought it was nothing, the kind of late-night call you forget the second you hang up. But the woman on the other end, she wasn't calling for the police. She was just screaming, real screaming, the kind that makes your skin crawl because you know it isn't faked. Between the gasps, I caught pieces. He won't stop, and he's biting me. Then the line snapped to static so loud it stung my ear. I sat there for a minute with the receiver still pressed against my head. Then I logged it, like I was supposed to. Possible assault, 12:14 a.m. My handwriting looked shaky, like a kid's. Before I even finished, another phone lit up. I grabbed it fast this time, expecting more static. Instead, I got a man's voice. He sounded like he'd been running for his life. He didn't ask for help, didn't even say his name. He just ranted. "Where the hell are you people? I called already. Nobody came. They're in the house. I can hear them in the walls." Then there was this deafening crash, glass breaking right against the mic. The man screamed and the call cut. I didn't pick up the next one, or the next. They rang anyway. Every desk in the room lit up until it felt like an alarm. One of the prisoners behind me started laughing, shouting, "Hear that? The whole city's calling for you, pig." I wanted to shout back, but I didn't, because one of the drunks wasn't laughing anymore. He was standing at the bars, face pressed against the steel. At first I thought he'd passed out, but then I saw his jaw working. He was chewing. Not food, not gum, just chewing on nothing, grinding his teeth until blood slipped down his chin. I told him to move back. He didn't. Instead, he started banging his head against the bars, slow at first, then harder. Bang, bang, bang. The others in the cells were shouting now, some telling me to stop him, others yelling at him to shut up. I couldn't do anything. My legs wouldn't move. Phones ringing, prisoners screaming, skull cracking against steel. That was all I could hear. Then he looked up at me, his forehead split wide open, blood dripping down into his eyes. That's when every single phone in the station lit up again, all at once. A wall of sound, shrill and endless, like the whole city was trying to get through to me. And I just stood there, staring at that bloody grin, with no idea what the hell I was supposed to do. I should have called for backup. Or maybe I did. I can't even remember now. What I do remember is Sergeant Hale coming down from upstairs. He'd been watching the cameras. He saw me standing there frozen and barked at me like it was just another screw-up. "What the hell are you doing?" "Get him under control." Like I could. Like anyone could. The drunk had already split his forehead wide open. He should have been on the ground, twitching maybe, but still. Instead, he staggered upright like nothing hurt. He slammed against the bars, and the sound echoed down the whole block. The other prisoners went nuts. They were screaming at Hale to open the doors, screaming at me to do something. One guy pressed so hard against the far wall he started clawing at the cinder block, like he thought he could dig his way out. Then it happened. The drunk lunged at the bars and grabbed another inmate's arm through the gap. I didn't even see it until the screaming started. Teeth sank into skin, deep. Blood sprayed across the concrete like someone kicked over a paint can. The bitten guy howled, pulling back, but he couldn't break free until half his wrist was gone. Hale swore under his breath. He drew his sidearm but didn't fire. I knew why. Gunshots inside the station would echo out into the street, and if what was happening on those phone lines was real, the last thing we wanted was to call attention. "Keys," Hale snapped at me. His hand was shaking, but his voice wasn't. "We move him. Separate him before it spreads." I fumbled with the ring, fingers clumsy with sweat. The bitten prisoner was still screaming, clutching his wrist, begging us not to lock him up alone. But Hale shoved him into one of the empties, slammed the door, and left him pounding against the glass. I'll never forget his face, eyes wide, mouth foaming, blood leaking down his arm. He kept shouting he was fine. "It's not that bad. Don't leave me in here." But even while he said it, his skin was already paling, lips turning gray. The phones started ringing again, not one or two, all of them, the whole room. A wall of sound that made the floor buzz. Hale didn't even flinch this time. He just stared at the bitten man and muttered, "This isn't a sickness. This is something else." And then the drunk, the first one, slammed his face into the bars again, over and over, faster, harder, until his teeth shattered on steel. He didn't stop chewing even after that. He just pushed bloody gums through the gap, trying to bite anyone close enough. The others in the cells lost it. They were shrieking, rattling the doors, throwing themselves around like caged animals. I swear one of them was laughing. The power flickered once, lights buzzing louder, then steadied. Phones still ringing, blood smeared down the walls. And me, I just stood there, clutching the keys like they were gonna save me. I don't know how long I stood there with those keys in my hand. Felt like hours, might have been minutes. The phones finally stopped ringing, all at once, like somebody yanked the cord on the whole city. The silence that came after was worse. Then the bitten guy started screaming again. Not words, just this deep, tearing howl. His hands were clawing at the glass, nails peeling back, leaving bloody streaks. His eyes rolled back white. I swear I saw his chest stop moving, like he wasn't breathing anymore, and then suddenly he was. But the breathing was all wrong. Shallow, wet, like air fighting through water. The others backed away from him, yelling for us to get him out. Hale just stood there, gun shaking in his hands. That's when the power cut. The fluorescents blinked once, and the whole block dropped into dark. Just the emergency strips glowing red along the floor. Phones went dead. Radios, too. The only sound left was the prisoners panicking and the wet pounding from inside that cell. I heard something break. Glass, maybe. Then a scream that got cut short. One of the other officers who'd been upstairs came running down the hall with blood all over his shirt. He didn't even make it to us before he collapsed, something still chewing on his throat. Hale opened fire, 3 shots in the dark. Each one exploded in the hallway like a bomb, ears ringing, muzzle flashes painting everything red. When the ringing in my head cleared, I realized what those shots had done. Outside, beyond the station walls, I heard it. First a few thuds, then dozens, then a roar. Hands slamming against the front doors, windows rattling. They'd heard us. The bitten prisoner stopped pounding. He was quiet now, too quiet. The others in the cells were shouting for us to let them out, promising to fight, promising anything. I swear one guy was sobbing like a kid. Then the bitten one stood up. He looked at me through the glass with those pale eyes and that slack jaw, and for a second, just a second, I thought he recognized me. Then he launched himself at the door, and the whole block went to hell. The first impact shook the cell door like it wasn't even locked. I swear I saw the hinges bend. Then he hit it again, harder, and the metal screamed. The other prisoners lost it. Some were begging to be let out, swearing they'd help us. Others were screaming at me to shoot him. One guy just laughed until it turned into choking sobs. Hale raised his pistol, finally ready to do it. But he hesitated too long. The lock snapped. The door swung wide, and the thing that used to be a man barreled into the cell block. It didn't move like a drunk anymore. It moved like something wired wrong, stiff but fast, arms thrashing, head jerking. The closest prisoner didn't even have time to back up. He was on the ground in seconds, throat torn open. The block erupted, prisoners smashing against the bars, clawing to get out, even though outside was worse. Some tried to squeeze through the gaps, skin ripping on the steel, blood everywhere. Hale fired. The gunshot cracked through the dark, blinding for a second. The bullet hit, but it didn't stop him, just spun him sideways, snarling, before he went right back to feeding. The pounding on the station doors outside got louder, a chorus of fists and broken nails dragging against glass, windows groaning in their frames. We both knew it wasn't just one or two. It was a crowd, maybe hundreds. The bitten prisoner, the one we'd locked away, started slamming himself against his own door now. His face was a blur in the red emergency glow, pale and wild, the glass spider-webbed. Another officer stumbled in from the hall. He looked half dead already, blood soaking his vest. He begged us to help him, said the others upstairs were gone, ripped apart. Before Hale could move, the thing in the block turned on him. It all collapsed at once, gunfire deafening, prisoners screaming, blood spraying across the cinder block walls. I dropped the keys. They clattered against the floor and slid out of reach. I remember thinking, this isn't a station anymore. It's a cage. And the worst part, we weren't guarding the prisoners anymore. We were locked in with them. If you're reading this, I don't know how it is in your hands. Maybe you're sitting at the same desk I was, phone's dead, blood still wet on the floor. Maybe you're somewhere safe, wondering if I got away safely. Either way, I need you to listen. The cells are gone, every one of them. Prisoners tore themselves apart trying to get out, and the ones that didn't last long before they changed. Hale's gone too. I saw him disappear under a pile of teeth and hands. The screams didn't last as long as I thought they would. The banging on the front doors hasn't stopped. It's heavier now, louder, like the whole city's out there waiting for me. I don't have ammo left with me. It's all in the armory. Doesn't matter. Every shot I fired just made them hungrier. It's quiet now except for the pounding. Quiet enough that I can hear my own heartbeat, and it feels louder than the phones ever were. I thought about barricading myself in here, but the walls are thin and the glass won't hold. I thought about swallowing my badge and ending it before they get me, but I'm too much of a coward for that. So I'm leaving this here, my log, my confession, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to make a run for it. Out the back, through the motor pool. Maybe I'll get lucky. Maybe they'll pull me down in the parking lot. Either way, I don't want to die at this desk, listening to those phones ring in my head forever. If anyone finds this, don't come looking for me. Don't pick up the phones. Don't think the station will save you. It won't.